Angstrom long pass to Joshua Hill. Tip it in the corner. Harvey Pinard chases after it. Gets Comer off to the left of Levi. All the way down the ice. Laval now on the attack. Harvey Pinard right in front. Joshua backhand. Scores! Joshua with 40 seconds left. Give the Rocket the lead. 2-1. What a steal by Harvey Pinard. And what a finish by Waugh.
Harvey Pinard gets that one out to Joshua Waugh in front. What you have to love about what Joshua does here is the poise and the patience with the puck. A lot of players in that spot, they're going to want to rush it to try to get it off their stick as quickly as possible with the goalie down on the ground. But Joshua Waugh waits it out, makes that quick move, transitions to the backhand, and makes no mistake lifting it up and over Devin Levi, and in 2-1 Rocket lead with just 40.3 seconds left.
This is from this past afternoon. Campbell versus Gallo in the broadcast booth at Place Bell. It's Habs Lunch. Campbell versus Gallo. Joshua, since that goal, gets recalled to the Montreal Canadiens. Owen Beck loaned back to the Laval Rocket. Is it time for Joshua to prove he's an everyday NHL player? That is the question, Mitch Gallo.
Every opportunity you get is the next chance you have to try to prove what you're talking about. I like Joshua Ottawa quite a bit as a player. I'm not sure where he fits in the big picture, the grand schemes of things when it comes to the Montreal Canadiens. Campbell, he is one of those guys who often leaves you wanting more. I liken this. I don't know if you've ever had this with your children. I don't have children.
Okay.
But you ever watch your child?
Yes.
And think to yourself, maybe he gets a grade, right? And you're like, a B is okay, but I know he's capable of a B+. Mm-hmm. A lot of games go by for Joshua Ottawa where I feel like that, where I'm like, he was okay. But, man, I know he's better than he played. I know he's capable of more.
He had a couple A's this weekend.
He did.
Against the top teams.
He did, and you see it. You see it when it's there. It is there because he's an intelligent player. He's got a terrific skill set as far as his hands are concerned. He's got decent vision. He's got finish. He's got a good shot. He's very confident when he has the puck. Not the greatest skater, but okay in that department. He has the tools. But can he do it for a game, and then another, and then another, and then another? That's the question mark with this player. And so far, not a lot has happened in the NHL. He's played 4 games, hasn't picked up any points. To me, what I wonder with Joshua Ottawa is he a tweener, not American Hockey League NHL, but is he a tweener, second or third line player? And if he's in a third line role, and look, he might get a second line role now based on the injuries and where players are at, but can he find a way to be successful, playing less minutes, not getting power play time, and being on the third line?
I think down the stretch last year, this question was a yes. As he played for the Canadiens last season down the stretch, a lot of people believed that it was his spot on the roster in the fall.
For sure.
A lot of people wrote it in maybe pretty deeply in pencil. Some people wrote it in pen. Some people were ready with their eraser. And it really didn't happen. And like you said, he's played 4 games this year. And now he's coming into this opportunity. I wonder if the opportunity last year where he got hurt at the last end of the season, he didn't finish the season. He was injured. And if you remember, he was ready to come back for a possible playoff run down the stretch as with the Rocket, but they just fell short of making the playoffs. If he was able to stay healthy, maybe he would have a different mentality heading into the season. Mm-hmm. So, like you said, every opportunity that he has, this is the one that he has to gravitate and grab. We've seen him play at the NHL level. We've seen him have a little bit of success. We'll see what kind of situation they throw him in. Is he going to be limited like Owen Beck? 8, 9, no power play time, no penalty kill time. Or will he get a shot maybe on the second unit with no Kirby Dach? Right now we're seeing Nick Suzuki play the full 2 minutes. There's a spot there on the second unit.
Yeah, it's different though with Owen Beck and Joshua Ottawa. Though they're different players. They play different positions. I know Beck has.
But it's hard to win over Marty St. Louis to get the ice time. We've seen that from all season long.
But I think Owen Beck is so sound defensively that Martin St. Louis can throw him out there and not have to worry a whole lot about protecting him in certain matchups. Or Joshua Ottawa, it might not be the case where you have to not baby the player, but just be a little bit more aware when he's on the ice. I mean, the difference between the two, Beck is better defensively, and Joshua Roy has a better skill set offensively. And the Canadiens are coming off a game where they got shut out 1-0 against Calgary, and Joshua Roy picked up a few points on the weekend and scored a game-winning goal. To me, that's what separates the two players. They're both different. They're both good. I think they're both right on that brink of being NHL players, and it's going to be It's going to be about if Owen Beck can be better defensively than Joshua Roy is offensively. Which player is better at what they do. I think it's going to come down to who gets more ice time, more games between now and the end of the season. Usually
there's other players that could get a shot too here.
Yeah, again, having done 2 of the 3 games on the radio with you last week, and obviously watched the game on Friday night, I think Davidson has been pretty strong. I think if you look at the top line that we saw the other day, I think Barré-Boulet, if you want a guy who's not going to hurt you and you know what you're going to get with him, he's just a pro. He's been around a long time. I think he's capable. There's guys, for sure. But for me, when I try to project, if I'm the Canadiens, if I'm management, with these games that are going to be important down the stretch, meaningful games, we keep hearing they wanted them to play meaningful games. If I'm management and I want to evaluate guys, I don't need to evaluate Barré-Boulet. I don't need to evaluate Dauphin. I don't need to evaluate Raphael Harvey-Pinard. Davidson maybe. Maybe I want to give him a look. I don't know how they view him. But the 2 guys I have circled that I think are very close and could be NHL players for me in the near future are Beck and Joshua Roy, which is why I think we saw Beck, and now we're going to see Roy tomorrow.
And that's going to be a boost, by the way. Yes, they'll lose Joshua, but they get Owen Beck, so it's almost a par for the course for the Laval Rocket, who have a bunch of home games coming up this month. A short trip to Utica at the end of next week. So Beck goes back, but there is a window there for anybody in Laval to go and grab it. And like you said, every opportunity that you have getting called up, you want to make it the last time. And you had that stretch last year. You had a bit of a stretch this year. Is this the last time that Joshua ever gets called up? Now, even if he finished the season with the Canadiens, they make the playoffs is one thing, but they don't. He's likely to go to Laval for a playoff run,
of course,
because that's where they want their young players to develop. But at the same time, Joshua Roy, he plays well here. He should have a leg up on everybody else at the start of training camp next year. But he can't take it for granted because of what happened over the last calendar year.
That's right. And Campbell, I think that you're likely going to see a bit of a yo-yo for both players here.
You think you might see them go back and forth and even a third player in the mix?
We'll see about the third player.
But that's Josh Waugh's job right now to not let that happen. He has to play well enough that the coach and manager says, let's finish 20 games with him.
It's totally in his hands. And the challenge for him is going to be finding a way to be impactful when playing limited minutes and not playing on special teams.